Hello, everybody. This is the TigerWolf55, and once more, we are here to stream some art. Now, as you can see, if you were paying attention to last time, yes, once again, I have been doing things in the interim. Just assume that that's going to be the way things go. For those of you who didn't notice, basically what I've done so far is I've drawn in the torches, uh, colored in some of the extra stuff here, like the armor, this guy's overall body and fur color, um, and a little bit of this guy just for the human flesh that's down here. Mm, that's really about it. Some other stuff I think that I just can't remember right now. So let us begin. And if you want to say anything or have any questions, just feel free to leave it in the comments. But until such time, for now, I think I kind of want to talk a little bit about the werewolf culture a little bit more, just because there are actually some things that I've drawn in here that actually do allow for a little bit more of a discussion in that vein. Uh, Starting off with the armor pieces here. Now, you'll notice that the guards have the gold pieces, while TW in the center does not have any gold, except for the little bit on his bracers here. That is actually quite intentional. As the way that I kind of see this werewolf society, it's not like the werewolves of horror movies and such, where silver is a great weakness to them. I don't like that, especially since that wasn't a part of the original legends and myths surrounding werewolves. That was something that was added by Hollywood later on. These werewolves do not have that kind of weakness. And in fact, they kind of respect and venerate the moon quite a lot, and as a result, they also do so for silver, as it's kind of the metal that has the most um, resemblance of the moon, at least to them. Uh, maybe they call it something like moonlight ore or something. I don't know, but basically, they actually value silver more highly than they do gold. Uh, So the higher up in rank you are, the more silver you're actually going to have on your armor. That's why they have these bright silver pieces, these silver circles in the middle of their breastplate. They are guards of the moon. And you'll notice that the female werewolf over here, she has silver plates on her shoulder things. I'm not sure what to call them. Shoulder pads. I don't think that they're really pads. Hello, Warrenot. Um, Whereas this guy's is just solid gold. That's because she has actually shown herself off a little bit more and gained a little bit of a higher ranking. Uh, so as for Tiger Wolf, yeah, his is a breastplate that's completely silver plated because he's the highest ranking general. Uh, Now their stuff is still made of steel, obviously. That's why their stuff is a bit of a duller gray, and his the only pure silver piece that he has is the medallion here. The breastplate is just a slightly duller shade of gray, because it's only plated. But yeah, that's why he's completely silver over here, and they've got the gold pieces. So just a little bit of werewolf lore for this picture. And no, that wasn't something that was thought of for the book. That was just something that I kind of came up with for this redesign. So Worry, how's it going over there, buddy? I know that you had to leave Clara's stream before it ended. Hope everything's going okay over there. As of right now, you are the only person joining me, but that's okay. I'd never really expect many people to check this thing out, especially since Clara just had one today. Uh, that's why it disappeared. Okay. And to answer your question, their armor is, well, it's a little bit of both. They actually do have actual gold pieces here, like um th these plates here are gold plated on top of steel. The bright parts here, this silver circle here, and the breastplate, the chest, the shoulder plates, they are pure silver overlaid. Um, but the breastplate, this is just steel. And Tiger Wolf stuff, uh, same deal. Steel breastplate with silver plating, and the clasp keeping his cloak pinned to him. That's pure silver. So if you got any more questions about this, please feel free. I'm going to try to keep any lore ideas to something that's original or just something that fits within this picture itself, rather than ideas that were actually come up with for the book, just in case Fox and the Fedora decides that he wants to try to use those ideas for future projects. Uh, Yes, the gold and silver is for decoration to establish status, but their actual armor is made of steel, medieval steel, so it's more like highly refined iron. But yeah, thank you very much. Warrenot has just reminded me that the correct name for the these plates here is the pauldron or spalder. I'll do some research later on to establish which one it is. So let's see, anything else? Um, Trying to think if there's any interesting lore points that I can think up for this werewolf society. Then again, I'm still trying to figure out some cool stuff that I can put into the backgrounds. I did get a suggestion for coming up with a banner for these werewolves, which probably is a good idea. You know, they're supposed to be their own sovereign nation, so they would have some kind of flag or coat of arms or something. So that's something that I'm going to have to design later on. But for now, just gonna try to focus on this wolf lady here. I kind of like the name Rosalind for her. I don't know why. I think it's because originally I gave her kind of a rose color. Um, it's a little bit lost now because I decided to darken the browns. Oh, they were not really based on anybody specific in terms of ancient cultures. I just kind of went with whatever I thought would fit. Like, um, some of the aspects look like they could kind of be Celtic design, but then again, the breastplate design doesn't really. lend itself to that. So I didn't have anything specific in mind. I just kind of went with whatever I thought was going to fit nicely. Maybe that's the wrong way to do it. I don't know. This wasn't really supposed to be based on any Earth culture. The world that this werewolf society was set in is supposed to be its own fantasy world, rather than alternate history Earth. Darn it. Okay. Uh, yeah. Sometimes I like to pull directly from ideas of ancient culture, and that's really the best way to go about it, since the ancient cultures actually lived, so they knew what was actually going to work for them. But sometimes I just want to come up with stuff. Oh. Okay. Mm, yeah, it's based on yeah, you look the helmets are a little Spartan, a little bit Roman. Uh, I don't think that this kind of design would have been found anywhere for for the actual armor. Um, and I think I mentioned this in the last stream that if a actual whoa if an actual historian or blacksmith were to take a look at this, they probably have several critiques for me. But oh well, it's supposed to be fantasy. I'm willing to allow some things to slide for fantasy's sake. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Greek hoplite and Roman centurion. Um, I did watch a lot of biblical cartoons and epics when I was a kid, so that probably did inform some of my design ideas. Plus, those cultures always kind of interested me, so I always paid a little bit more attention when we were talking about them for history, which was often, since I was homeschooled, we could focus on whatever subject I wanted. Sadly, not all the time, though. I eventually did have to learn stuff I didn't need or didn't think I'd need to know. Oh well, that's just the way of life. Yeah, really wish that they would come up with a animated series, anime, or movie about werewolf society like this, rather than just more underworld junk. Hmm. That that is a good question, more or not. Um, Honestly, I'm still focusing mostly just on the figures. I've already mentioned this before as well, that I kind of did this the reverse of how it should go, but I'm probably going to design the banner later on. I'm going to take a look at some historical stuff like the Roman sigils and stuff to get some ideas, but yeah, I haven't been able to give much thought to it yet. Um, and what? What was this post regarding useless classes exactly? Care to share? Oh boy. Wait. Warnot is cleared his throat and is proceeding to type. I'm guessing that this is going to be a bit of a long one. Hopefully, it'll be a fun one. And yes, I also realize that there are faster techniques for coloring as well. Uh, I don't know. I have used them in the past for other stuff, but like I said before, I kind of like going slower on this piece. Sometime I should start playing music, however. Okay. A teacher heard the same question many students ask: when are we ever going to use this? He said to the football player who asked that question, what does your coach do to make you all stronger? Okay. This is going to be coming in parts. All right. We are down to the hips. Those hips go everywhere, apparently. All right. Somewhere there is an open area, and I think I found it. Let's get rid of the floor layers, as we don't need them right now. There we go. Yep, this was the cause of the issue. Okay, second part. The player responded, bench pressing, weightlifting, etc. The teacher said, but are you ever going to use that for one of your plays when on the field? The player said, no, of course not. Yeah, I'm seeing where this is going. What beautiful kneecaps. Okay, third part. The teacher said, bingo. Your coach did this to exercise you to make you stronger. It's the same way for it is for these classes. You may never use them, but it exercises your brain. Yep. As much as we don't like those kinds of classes and the information may never actually benefit us directly in our life, it does make sense to exercise your brain in more ways than what you actually are interested in. Just because it actually expands your brain to different ideas, and you might actually need something like that later on in life. Maybe it'll only be one time, but still gonna need it, or at least be glad that you had it. Okie dokie. See you in a bit, Maury. And now I am alone. Okay. Oh, just a sec. I just realized I never got rid of that little thing. That's annoying. Alright. Now, what's fun about this figure is that I actually don't have a lot of practice, or at least I don't have as much practice drawing the female form as much as I do the male form. So when I was drawing her, I did end up needing to go to a art pose app that Dark Speeds directed me to. I found it very useful, just to help as a guide to figure out how proportions can go in various different poses. It's not 100%, and you shouldn't use it uh, always as the absolute final say on what your figure is going to look like, but it at least does act as an excellent guide. Hello, Dragon Ollie. How's it going? I believe this is the first time that I've had you here. You're watching the stream. Hope you're doing well. All right, and that does it for that round of fur. Yep. All right. Now, we need her secondary color. So, all right. It looks like it was a near white gray color. She ended up going pretty extreme. Doesn't look like she actually went all the way, however. Okay. All right. Yeah, she did end up with a different fur pattern than Mr. Bruiser over here. Oh, cool. Hope your friend is doing well. Thanks for joining. I hope that I don't know if your friend is watching your screen too. If so, please assure him that I am not crazy and that you're not crazy. I don't know. This is just for fun. All right. So let's get that on there. Now let's find a good brush for the fur texturing. No. Okay, gotta set that. Ugh, I like that. All right, let's set the flow up. Yeah, I like that better. I know, no, it doesn't seem like I would, but I think that it works nicer. Although I guess I can set the flow rate down. Yeah. Okay. I just kind of ended on her neck. And you'll notice that her eyes are actually staring at his hand here, whereas this guy is staring straight ahead. That's why she has the silver patches. Right. Dang, it is nearly all white. All right. Hmm. Kind of like the idea of giving her just the one whitish paw. I keep that. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, this design is somewhat simple, but kind of a cartoony detailed. Um, I don't know. I don't know what kind of style you would exactly call it. Um, I don't even know if it has an equivalent. Okay. So, yeah, it just kind of ended. Oh, so in this case, the dark actually stays going down. Greetings forever, Xaver? X-Xaver? And thank you as well. Really, the most challenging thing about doing any werewolf like this, I think, is maintaining a unique aspect to the fur patterns without going ridiculous. Oh, thank you very much for the compliments, Ollie. If you want, you should check out my DeviantArt. You can see some more examples of my stuff over there. Uh, nah, I don't like that. I'm just gonna lighten her foot a little bit. Uh, and not much, because fur doesn't always come in hues of light and dark. There are medium tones. All right, that that'll be that. Okay, let's take care of her tail. Right. Oh, feel free to look as deep as you want, dude. And feel free to leave critiques as well. Some of that stuff that's on there is now pretty old. Um, I have evolved a little bit since a lot of what's on there. Um, but I'm always trying to grow with every piece that I do, or at least try something different. Hey, Ty, how's it going? Joining me after Clara's stream? Uh, yeah, this'll do for now. Actually, this is my favorite brush in the Kyle's tool set. It's just that when you're using this for fine detail work, it doesn't. It tends to kind of go out a little bit because of the flow rate. And if you increase the flow rate, it actually loses part of what makes it so good to begin with. Uh, I'm doing well, Ty. Thank you very much. Glad to hear you're doing all right too. The artist journey can be an experience in and of itself, so long as they keep themselves open to criticism and growth. Because sometimes you do run across an artist who never gets past a certain point, and I did nearly fall into that category at one point. Not fun. But don't want to dwell on that one too much. Okay, let's. All right, let's add a bit of fur texture to this. Decrease the strength and the size. Okay, maybe increase the strength a little bit. Awesome! I can't wait for him to be finished. All right. Yeah, I like how the layer effect that this kind of gives it. Okay. Mm, Welcome back, Wari. All right. Hmm. Oh, her fur looks so soft. Although I'm not sure what care for a werewolf fur would entail, if they even need to take care of it, since it technically disappears every time they transform back into human form. Well, one thing's for sure, shaving as a werewolf would be a whole lot easier. You don't have to. Alright, that looks good. I probably want to add some more layers and do more detail work if this was more of a photorealistic piece. But since this is more of a cartoony style, this is fine. Okay. That'll do. Yes, that'll do, Wolf. That'll do. Making Babe references. Blech. Don't think about it, Leah. You're not preempting this stream too. My cat has decided to give me a visit, and last time she did that, she ended up delaying my stream quite a bit. She's she's adorable, so she's able to get away with it. All right. I believe that does it. I just need to color her nose and her paw pads. Let's see here. Yeah, the nose is just a general black. Just borrowing from you, TW. Thank you. Got an interesting conversation going on in the chat. Okay. Now, what color were your paw pads? Did I even get to establish that? Eh, looks like they were just kind of a brownish color. I did a lot of brown with the werewolves here. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Let's do that. Let's see how that works. Yeah, that's cool. Actually, it's very warm. I like that. That's cool. Let's clean up this claw a little bit. It's looking a little bit better. There. Hmm. What's my favorite part of drawing Ollie? Um, I'm not sure. I've never really given that much thought. I guess the sketching. Cause sometimes I'll find myself with a sketch that I actually enjoy a heck of a lot more than I do the final line art. Uh, but unfortunately, I know that the line art is what's actually required for the piece that I'm doing. So hesitantly, I will trace over it. But sometimes I keep the sketch underneath just because I like that so much more. Plus, you can be a lot more free and loose with it. Second, I guess, would be the coloring and shading. Is because sometimes you can add some life and detail that you can't do with pure line art. Because if you do, you just end up making your figure look old. That's why sometimes if you look through comics, the simpler the drawing, when it's a flat color, oftentimes the better the figure looks. As things get more detailed, you're just going to end up having more and more lines, and especially if they end up being thick lines, you're just going to end up having somebody who's supposed to be in their early 30s look like they're actually in their late 50s. That's why comics started to look a little bit better in regards to that after they started using more digital coloring techniques. All right. Um, oh, that's what I'm missing. Her hair. This is probably where I came up with the name Rosalind because I think I gave her, yeah, I gave her kind of reddish hair. Not Ariel bright red, but just kind of a something like that. Yeah, it's kind of a burnt red. Who's a very stern knight? Uh, are you referring to the werewolf lady? Yeah, she's the guard here, and it's her job to look as intimidating as possible. Uh, Neat. That's cool, Ollie. Maybe you should start thinking about doing some live streams as well. Okay. Meantime, let's just check against the background, make sure that, yep, it's all filled in. All right. Oh, except for her paw pads or toe pads. Feet are always fun to draw, he said with a sarcastic tone in his voice. A lot of my influence for my art style comes from the Bruce Timm animated stuff, and if you ever take a look, their feet often are largely ignored or are just really flat. Batman the Animated Series, Batman's boot, it is just his shoe, which is kind of in the shape of a triangle, and they simplified it even more when they did the Superman animated series. Right. That's what I get for getting drawing lessons from a cartoon, I guess. Oh, sorry to hear that, Ollie. Well, maybe one day you'll be able to invest in a stronger laptop and be able to do some more. If there's hope for Fox, there's hope for you. Indeed, there's hope for us all. Thank you, phone. I needed to know that I had an email. Blaze the Fire Dragon, it is an excellent artist. Um, I've come across lot of great artists as well on both YouTube and DeviantArt. And Dark Speeds has introduced me, or at least shown me webcomic work of a lot of other great artists as well. It's amazing the kind of talent that the internet actually holds on it. It's not all dank memes and darkness and Tumblrisms. It can be fun. Uh, Indeed, everybody does have their own style, and it's always unique and fun to see, especially as you're able to watch a person grow and develop. I know several of our artist friends who started off one way and have managed to evolve to an even greater point. All right, so you know, the true wolves are all colored in. The shading will be taken care of later on. But first, I have one more werewolf to take care of, and that's Fake Wolf down here. All right. So, need to open up his file again. Find it. And yes, the title of that file is a bit of a joke in case you saw it. All right. So let's see. This guy got some gray hair going on up here. Right. Get rid of this. White background, come back. I don't need the speckled texture. And the story with this guy is that he's a sort of magic user who's trying to trick TW and the armies of werewolves here. So he's kind of cast an illusion about himself to make himself look like a werewolf. But he missed a spot. Yes, very, very evil. Insert SpongeBob meme. Actually, don't insert any SpongeBob memes, please. Um, and I don't know if you heard that, but I think my family is getting a little bit loud. Okay, so all right, now how did I do this guy's fur? Right, okay. Yep, that's always the danger of doing these things with people in the house. Hey, life sometimes gets in the way. All right, so yeah, this guy kind of ended up being a very reddish werewolf. The idea there being that his that by casting his illusion, his the properties of his robes and stuff took hold, and because the one that was closest to his body was red, his fur took on a reddish hue, and Thank you, Ollie. Yes, I was trying to make him as wonderfully fuzzy as possible. Technically, all the werewolves are. It's just that they're kind of covered up by the armor pieces, so you can't really see it. Tiger Wolf's neck is actually like, if you could see the lines for it, his actual neck is more like in here, and all this extra stuff is fluff. Yeah, when I was designing the werewolves here, I did take a little bit of inspiration from, whoops, from Disney. If you notice, when they would draw their wolves, they always gave them this kind of three-piece uh, tone for their fur, from their head to the neck to the shoulders. So I did base this a little bit off that design. This ring of fur right here is going to end up having a darker hue than the rest of it. But yeah. Well, Ollie, it would depend on which werewolf you tried to hug. Um, Werewolf society isn't all that violent. At least not in here. They do have a bit of a warrior shtick going on, but it's not like there are a bunch of Klingons running around. So if you found a regular old werewolf who wasn't part of the army and you tried to hug him, if they were open to it, you'd probably be just fine. If you just ran into this guy's cave though and tried to just run up and hug him, you might have a little bit of an issue with these two. A high five might be okay. Okay, so let's see if this arm is okay. Yep, this arm is closed off. Interesting. I didn't realize that the anatomy of Tramp was good for young dragons. But yeah, Disney has managed to do a lot with figuring out how to do textures of fur in 2D. Also, check out Don Bluth's stuff regarding that, like the feathers for the. I think he was a crow in The Secret of Nim. That stuff is really wonderful. So make sure you check that out as well. And again, he used to work for Disney before he went off on his own, so that does make sense, I guess. Let's see if I can find the open pocket. Yeah, I'm kind of blind. Oh well. Uh, If needs must, I shall just color this the old-fashioned way. Indeed. I think that Don Bluth actually is going to be doing another movie soon. I think that the Kickstarter for the Dragon Quest animated movie was a success, so we should be seeing that sometime in 2020. It might lead to a renaissance for 2D animation. Who knows? I know that some people were hoping that the MLP movie would do that, but I don't know what the numbers were for that. And besides that, from what I understand, it was great for fans of the Pony Show. Everybody else was just kind of left in the dust. So save us, Don Bluth. You're our only animator hope. Not to say that I don't like the 3D stuff that's come out. Um, but there is something that you can't get with 3D technology that you can get with 2D. Uh, it's a matter of knowing how to use your tools. Like Zootopia, I don't think that that would have worked as well if it had been 2D. Of I mean, the story would still would have been great. I'm sure that it would have been fun to see the more cartoon designs in 2D. Um, but I think that we just got a lot more out of it from the computer technology because they were able to do things to make the environments come to life and keep the background so full of life and stuff. It would have been a lot harder to do that with 2D. Here is a piece of advice for you. If you ever do decide to go running up to a werewolf to hug them or something, never get this close to their butts. They don't like people getting that close to their tail. Uh, yeah, uh, 2D animation is what started animation since that's all that was available. Computers have managed to help things to stay more even, and it's a lot easier to control because you can do stuff faster in the computer in terms of getting characters to move and do rough animations. The director can look at it and say, "No, I don't like that as much. Can we try this instead?" And it doesn't take nearly as long to adjust. Whereas if you do that same thing with a 2D animation, which is all hand drawn, it's a lot more effort to actually do those redos. American Tail is great. It's one of those childhood favorites of mine. Um, I didn't see it when I was very young. I first saw it on Cartoon Theater on Cartoon Network. I can't remember how old I was. I think had to be no younger than 8 years old, but I could have been as old as 9. Can't say for certain. What was funny about it was that I wasn't able to get the VHS of it until nearly a year after I had seen it. Oh, longer. Um, so I ended up just having the back half of the taped thing from the Cartoon Theater. So for the longest time as a kid, all I had of American Tail was When Fievel Met Tiger and Beyond. Not that that's a bad thing. That was a fun song. Well, no, Ollie, everybody has to start somewhere in terms of their animations. I doubt that even Don Bluth was able to get realistic human movements down the first time that he put pen to paper. So it's a matter of diligence, practice, and patience, and being willing to learn from those who are willing to teach. I know that there are a bunch of animation courses that you can even take online now. Well, you do have to pay for them, of course, though. And for a little while, I think that I even tried my hand at what was I thinking with this line? I don't think I was thinking with this line. Anyway, I did try my hand at animating for a little while. In fact, my very first video on YouTube was the start of a Superman fan animation that I was trying to do, which revolved around the death of storyline. But yeah, I didn't lose interest. It's just that I lost time. At I was working full time. I had no time to myself when that was going on. I was trying to write a book and uh just wasn't able to continue it. Then oh, then the actual Superman versus Doomsday animated movie came out from Warner Brothers, and their ending was actually pretty close to what I had storyboarded. So I figured, forget it. There, I might just get copyright flagged for the idea. Oh well. Greetings there, Fox. I thought somebody had to be there. My watch count was always one more than what the comment count was. How's it going? Hey! If you two are going to start this hello love stuff and anything like that, find a room, please. Okay. Yeah, I hope that it's good bread. My family has discovered that the area to which we have moved does not contain any real bread. Oh, we get the loaves that you can make sandwiches with and stuff, but real Italian bread and stuff like that, yeah, it's nowhere to be found. It's all none of it is actual thick, crusty crust. It's just kind of flimsy. If real Italian bread is something that you could use as a blunt weapon, the stuff that's down here, you could play Rock'em Sock'em Robots with, maybe. I don't know. It's like those tubes that you go into the pool with. Ah, separating audio, are you, Fox? Hmm. I wonder what audio you're separating. Hopefully, some good audio. Speaking of, my audio I have discovered isn't as good as I had hoped. Turns out that my microphone is technically hooked up incorrectly. I've discovered a way to fix it. At least I hope I have. I'll be finding out relatively soon, I suppose. Tuesday, I think, is the delivery date, and we'll see then. Oh, you're separating my audio. My condolences. Well, meantime, I was hoping to be able to get some audio room treatment for my space. Uh, but the stuff that was recommended to me and what I would actually require for the space that would be getting uh, foamed up, as it were, a little bit beyond my price range for right now. So now when I do recordings, especially if I'm doing something very loud, I need a tent of blankets. It's fun to construct. 10, 10 minutes and okay. I look forward to seeing what your favorite Monsters Inc. quote is. It's been a while since I watched the movie, so I'm not sure what quote that could be. Chinese tonight. Ooh, lucky you. I like Chinese, especially dumplings. Dumplings are good. Don't try and pass off pot stickers to me as dumplings either. I have a buffet in town that tries to do that. They are not successful. Um, it's going to China? I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie for a while. Oh, oh, okay. 2319. Okay, now I feel foolish. Thank you very much. You people have shamed me. I feel ashamed for not knowing this. I hope that you're all happy. I don't know if I can continue on now. Maybe I should end this stream before the 2319 can hit. I don't know how long this is going to go on. I might end it after I finish coloring this guy. Okay, so the break is somewhere down here. That's nice to know. Oh, I think that's it. Let's see. Yep, that was it. Hey, worry, too early, too early. Thank you, Ollie. Yeah, besides, my head's kind of been so much in the latest geek movie stuff. It's no wonder that I've let some of the old classics fall away just a little bit. Hopefully, the batch of movies that's coming out this year will be good. Gonna have to cut back a little bit though. Let's see. Looking forward to Black Panther, Avengers 4, Ant-Man and the Wasp, skip a Deadpool. Incredibles 2, I'm hoping lives up to the potential. I know that Brad Bird said that he didn't want to do another Incredibles movie if he didn't have a good story. And thus far, the only disappointment to his name is Tomorrowland. So I was hoping. Yes, make sure that you stop by Fox's stream next Friday. We need to badger him as much as possible so that we can distract him while he's doing his game so that we can have some awesome deaths. I am a good friend. Yes, Ali, awesome deaths. Because if he's going to keep on doing streams of Let's Plays, he shall die. Actually, I haven't been able to watch the rest of his stream from yesterday, so I don't know if he actually died or not. What about video game deaths and rages, Wari? Oh, yes. I believe that you have mentioned the fact that you went a little over the top when you were playing Borderlands 2 with Sydney. Just slightly, Mr. Military Man. You died 2 or 3 times, Fox. Okay. Were any of them to the almighty snow leopard? Well, I am a master of understatement, Wari. You should know this by now. Ye- Nah, you're not out of touch, Ollie. You just have a busy life. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, some would say that that is a good thing to have. I am one of them. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was hoping that they'd be close enough together. But Fox, what if we don't want to watch the full stream? What if we're like Ollie and we have busy lives and we have short attention spans? We have been spoiled by Twitter. Hello, Leah. Goodbye, Leah. My cat brought me her toy turtle and then ran out the door. I do not know what message she is trying to send to me. Unless it's get that stinking tarantula out of my room. Uh, just to clarify, the tarantula is not in my room. It's in my sister's room. She got a new tarantula from a coworker who's leaving and couldn't take the thing with him. Yay. I don't know what you're talking about, Fox. I am always in luck. Tiger wolves are very lucky. Yeah, I don't care if the claw gets colored in. I can just color that it incorrectly later on. Okay. Uh, no, unfortunately, I have already been informed that I cannot use the tarantula as I see fit. So, no Marv, no Lord of the Rings reenactments, nothing. My sister can be boring. Yeah, every so often, Ty, it just kind of goes in and out. I don't know why. I'm guessing it's just my internet connected to the Ethernet, but the connection in the area just isn't that grand. Uh, Unfortunately, that's just something that's out of my control. All right, so there we go. All right, just need to take care of his ears here. Yes, woe is me. Nah, just kidding. I honestly, I'm just glad that I actually have internet capability. When we first moved here for like 2 months, we were getting barely anything off wireless. And the best part was that we had to pay full price for it. Oh well. Next Friday, things get weird in the Valley of the Yeti. With a name like Valley of the Yeti, I imagine that things are weird already. Alright. Yeah, that's what I thought. To fill that in, and we're good. Okay, now the original design didn't really leave much in the way of variation in fur pattern. It was just kind of the solid reddish color. Let's see if we can't adapt some of the other stuff, though. Let's see. This guy wore a very black cloak, or at the very least dark gray. Let's use that as kind of a stripe going down the back. Audience participation, eh? Hmm. Let's lighten this up a little bit. Okay. Oops. Yeah, I can fix that. Okay. Hello, GeoWolf. Oh, bring back the original dark. Okay. And let's see. Guy also liked yellow. All right. Have a good night, Holly. Good luck on the drawing and have fun with my DeviantArt gallery. So far everybody seems to be doing all right. Let's see if this will work. Hmm. No, I'm not liking that. Try more of that. Hmm. Okay. I'd like to ask you guys, the audience. Do you think that this color here works, or should I keep on working on it? Gonna wait for some responses. In the meantime, while I wait, okay, I have one vote for a bit darker. Anybody else? Giving a little bit longer. Okay, two darker. So, oh, actually, let's just try this. Hmm. I don't know. This is kind of looking a little greenish. That, that looks all right. I think that works. All right. And the cat has landed. Hello, Leah. And just like that, she's gone. Every time I mention her, she gets shy. Okay, let's increase the strength a little bit. All right. This is starting to take shape. like how this is going. All right. And with this in mind, that's this kind of thing would be another clue that this guy isn't quite for reals. I don't think that a natural werewolf or wolf would have this kind of yellow fur. Like, what the heck have you been getting into, sir? The fur isn't that long there. Okay, be a little bit more careful on that. Okay. Let's see, anywhere else? Okay, take care, Fox. Enjoy your Chinese food. That's terrible. That looks lazy. It's a little bit better. Okay, and just gotta clean up a little bit. Uh, You will do. You just gotta clean up this guy's hair up here a little bit. And contour the fur a little bit better up here. Okay, now, yes. Now to burn it. For this mid scruff, I generally do 2 passes of the burn tool. And there. Got a nice contrast between the neck, the mid scruff, and the rest of the body. This kind of looks nicer. Thank you, Geowolf. Get rid of that. Okay. Now let's go a little obvious for this guy and give him some black claws. He's not exactly a subtle man. First, let's. There. Yeah, this was what I was talking about before, that this tool in particular isn't necessarily the best one for coloring stuff in. But I can't help it. I love it too much. Alright, let's give it some near black. Yeah, it's visual shorthand. It's not like I'm trying to make a very complex character design here, so I think I'm allowed to take that kind of shortcut. Let's go get the precise tool. A little bit smaller. There we go. All right. I don't see any more of his claws, so that's all that's required. Now, the final color that this guy had on his design was this purple. Let's see if we can't incorporate that with the paw pads. Darken it up a little bit more red. Might be able to get away with it. It needs to be a bit darker. Oh. I'm lazy. I don't feel like being precise right now. Color underneath it. All right. I think that does it. Add in this bit here. You can brighten it up a little bit. Yep, that's it. That's fine. All right. All right, all the figures are colored in. I think I'm going to call it here. The only one that's left is Tiger Wolf himself, which I'll save for next time. In the meantime, thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope that you have a good evening. I am off to get some dinner. Take care. Or at least I will be once I get the right window to shut this down. Okay, here we go. Take care, everyone. Bye.